Before you reach for another cup of coffee to clear that mental fog, stop for a second and try this with me. Close your eyes and name the last 3 things you did this morning in the exact order. Now open your eyes and notice what just happened. Did your mind move smoothly from one memory to the next? Or did it hesitate, stumble, and feel just a little slower than it used to be? That small moment matters more than most people realize. It is not just forgetfulness, it is your brain asking for support. Here is something almost nobody tells you. Foggy memory after 60 is not only about age. It is often connected to blood flow, oxidative stress, inflammation, blood sugar swings, sleep quality, and the way your brain cells communicate with each other. Here is the hidden answer. Your brain was never designed to run on isolated pills alone. In nature, the compounds that protect memory usually arrive inside colorful foods, surrounded by fiber, water, minerals, vitamin C, and plant chemicals that work together like a team. In this video, we will reveal 5 powerful fruits that may help support clearer memory after 60, ranked from helpful to strongest. And number 1 is the fruit I want you to eat every morning, because research on its deep blue pigments, blood vessel support, and memory effects is too important to ignore. You can find the scientific references in the description below. Before we continue, tell me in the comments your age and the country you are watching from, and write the word memory if you have noticed more forgetfulness in the past year. I read every comment and reply whenever I can. Now, let us begin with fruit number 5. The first fruit looks ordinary on the breakfast table, but its effect on the aging brain starts with something many people overlook. Orange comes in at number 5, not because it is weak, but because most people think of it only as a vitamin C fruit. Inside that orange is a family of citrus flavonoids, especially hesperidin, that may support blood vessel function, inflammation balance, and the steady delivery of oxygen to the brain. That matters after 60 because the brain is greedy. It uses a large share of your body's oxygen and energy, and when circulation becomes less flexible with age, memory can feel less sharp even when nothing dramatic is wrong. A 2015 randomized, double-blind crossover trial published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition studied 37 healthy older adults with an average age of 67. Participants drank 500 milliliters of high flavonone orange juice daily for 8 weeks, containing about 305 milligrams of flavonones, then were compared with a lower flavonone control drink. The finding was not magic, and it was not a cure, but global cognitive function was significantly better after the high flavonone orange juice period. That is important because the researchers were not studying college students with perfect circulation. They were studying older adults, the exact group most likely to notice that mental speed and attention feel different than they used to. Here is how this works in plain language. Citrus flavonoids help the lining of your blood vessels communicate better. Think of your blood vessels like tiny, flexible roads feeding your brain. If those roads become stiff, narrow, or sluggish, the brain still receives fuel, but it may not receive it with the same smooth timing. Orange also brings vitamin C, and vitamin C helps protect delicate tissues from oxidative stress. Your brain is especially vulnerable to oxidative stress because it uses so much oxygen every day. In simpler terms, your brain burns a lot of fuel, and the more fuel it burns, the more protection it needs from the sparks. Now, here is how to use orange properly. Do not turn this into a giant glass of juice every morning, especially if your blood sugar runs high. Use the whole fruit first. Eat 1 medium orange or 2 small mandarins with breakfast 3 to 5 mornings per week. Peel it, separate the segments, and eat the white pithy layer when you can tolerate it, because that area carries useful plant compounds and fiber. Pair it with protein, such as plain Greek yogurt, eggs, cottage cheese, or oatmeal with nuts, because protein slows the sugar rise and keeps the brain fueled longer. If chewing is difficult, blend 1 peeled orange with unsweetened yogurt and a few ice cubes instead of drinking strained juice. If you take medications affected by citrus, especially if your doctor has warned you about grapefruit or similar interactions, check with your clinician before making citrus a daily habit. The best time is morning because citrus can brighten hydration after sleep and pairs well with breakfast. Think of orange as the first spark. It does not carry the whole memory plan alone, but it starts the day with blood vessel support, vitamin C, fluid, and flavonones. But as useful as orange can be, the next fruit works closer to the memory center itself, and researchers saw changes in word recognition and spatial learning that make it especially interesting after 60. Strawberries come in at number 4. They seem gentle, sweet, and familiar, but strawberries carry anthocyanins, ellagic acid, vitamin C, and a group of polyphenols that may support the hippocampus, the brain region deeply involved in forming and retrieving memories. The hippocampus is the part of the brain that helps you remember where you placed your keys, what someone told you yesterday, and how to connect a place with an experience. After 60, this region can become more vulnerable to inflammation, poor sleep, high blood sugar, and oxidative stress. A randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial published in the British Journal of Nutrition studied adults aged 60 to 75. 22 men and 15 women were recruited, and participants consumed either 24 grams per day of freeze-dried strawberry powder, equal to about 2 cups of fresh strawberries, or a matched placebo for 90 days. The strawberry group showed improvements in word recognition and spatial learning compared with controls. That means researchers saw changes in the kind of memory people use when they recognize information and navigate space, the everyday mental work behind remembering familiar words and moving through the world with confidence. This is the part I want you to hear carefully. The study did not show that strawberries fixed every part of aging. It did not improve gait or balance in that trial, but it did suggest that a simple berry food could influence specific memory tasks in older adults. In simpler terms, strawberries may help your brain recognize and place information more efficiently. Think of the hippocampus like a librarian inside your head. As we age, that librarian can become slower at filing and retrieving. Strawberry polyphenols may help create a better working environment for that librarian. Strawberries also bring vitamin C, and vitamin C helps regenerate other antioxidants. That means it does not only act once and disappear. It participates in a wider antioxidant network, helping protect cells from the wear and tear that builds over years. There is also evidence from broader berry research that different berries may influence different areas of cognition. Blueberries are often studied for executive function and memory, while strawberries have shown promise in hippocampal tasks like recognition and spatial learning. That is why this list is ranked, not random. Each fruit earns its place by working through a slightly different pathway. Here is the morning ritual. Choose fresh or frozen strawberries with no syrup added. If buying fresh, look for deep red color, a sweet smell, and leaves that still look green rather than dry. If buying frozen, choose a bag that lists only strawberries. Use 1 cup of sliced strawberries in the morning. If your appetite is strong and your blood sugar is well controlled, you can use up to 2 cups, which is closer to the research equivalent. Add them to oats, plain yogurt, or chia pudding. Do not bury them under sugar, sweet cereal, or flavored yogurt because that defeats the purpose. The best time is breakfast or late morning because berries pair beautifully with protein and fiber after the overnight fast. Aim for 4 days per week. Consistency matters more than perfection. Your brain does not need a dramatic cleanse. It needs repeated signals of support. And if strawberries are number 4, wait until you hear about number 3, because this next fruit is famous for the heart. But one long-term trial found something fascinating about visual memory over 12 months. That gut transformation is important. Many people think brain nutrition happens only in the brain, but the gut and brain are constantly speaking through immune signals, blood sugar regulation, short-chain fatty acids, and inflammatory pathways. A preliminary 2013 study published in Evidence-Based Complementary and Alternative Medicine found that pomegranate juice was associated with memory improvements and increased fMRI activity in middle-aged and older adults with mild memory complaints. The trial was small, with 32 participants randomized and 28 completing the study, but it opened the door to larger research. Then, a larger randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition examined 261 adults aged 50 to 75. Participants consumed 8 ounces of pomegranate juice daily, or a matched placebo drink for 12 months. The result was specific and worth respecting. Daily pomegranate juice appeared to stabilize visual learning over the 12-month period, while the placebo group showed decline on that measure. This does not mean pomegranate cured memory loss. It means one area of visual memory held steadier in the pomegranate group, and that is meaningful for older adults who worry about losing ground year after year. Here is the simple mechanism. Pomegranate polyphenols act like protective messengers. They may help reduce oxidative stress, support blood vessel health, and influence inflammation. Think of pomegranate as a shield for the brain's delicate communication lines. When inflammation is high, brain signaling can become noisy. When oxidative stress is high, cells work harder just to maintain themselves. Pomegranate does not force memory to improve. It helps create a calmer biological environment where memory systems may function with less interference. Now here is how to use pomegranate without overdoing sugar. If you can eat the whole arils, use half a cup in the morning. Add them to plain yogurt, oatmeal, or a small bowl with walnuts. Chew them slowly because the seeds bring texture and fiber. If you use juice, choose 100% pomegranate juice with no added sugar and use 4 ounces rather than a large glass. Dilute it with 4 ounces of water. The clinical studies used 8 ounces, but many older adults need a more cautious daily serving, especially those watching blood sugar, weight, reflux, or medication interactions. The best timing is breakfast or early lunch. Do not drink it late at night if it worsens reflux. If you take blood pressure medication, blood thinners, or multiple prescriptions, ask your healthcare professional before making pomegranate juice a daily routine because concentrated juices can affect some people differently. For a memory-friendly bowl, use half a cup of pomegranate arils, half a cup of plain yogurt, 1 tablespoon of chopped walnuts, and a few strawberries. That gives you polyphenols, protein, fiber, and healthy fat in one small meal. Pomegranate is number 3 because it does something powerful. It reminds us that memory is not just about neurons. It is also about blood vessels, inflammation, gut metabolism, and whether the brain is protected from daily biological stress. But before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit the like button and do not forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you do not miss more videos like this. Now we move to number 2, and this one surprises people because most only think of it as a sweet snack or a juice. But the research connection to older adults with early memory decline is much stronger than many people realize. Concord grapes come in at number 2. Not green grapes, not pale grapes, and not grape candy flavor. I am talking about the deep purple Concord grape, the kind rich in anthocyanins and other polyphenols that give the skin that intense dark color. A randomized, placebo-controlled, double-blind trial published in the British Journal of Nutrition studied 12 older adults with memory decline but not dementia. They consumed Concord grape juice for 12 weeks, and the researchers observed significant improvement in a measure of verbal learning, with additional non-significant improvements in verbal and spatial recall. That may sound small, and it was small, but small early trials matter when they are biologically plausible and repeated by related research. Concord grape polyphenols are not acting like a stimulant. They appear to support the systems that memory depends on. A later study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry investigated Concord grape juice supplementation and neurocognitive function in older adults with mild memory decline. The researchers recruited older participants with an average age in the mid-70s and found evidence that Concord grape juice could enhance aspects of neurocognitive function. The real lesson is not that everyone should drink large amounts of grape juice. The lesson is that dark purple grape polyphenols appear to be recognized by the aging brain in a meaningful way. Here is how this works. Concord grapes contain anthocyanins and other flavonoids that may help blood vessel flexibility and neuronal signaling. Think of them like a maintenance crew for the small roads and communication wires that keep memory moving. When brain blood flow is sluggish, memory can feel like a radio station with static. The message is still there, but the signal is harder to receive. Concord grape polyphenols may help reduce some of that static by supporting vascular and cellular signaling. There is also a gut component. Polyphenols are partly broken down by gut bacteria into metabolites that circulate through the body. So again, the fruit is not acting alone. It is working with your digestion, your microbiome, your blood vessels, and your brain. Now, here is the practical ritual. If you can find fresh Concord grapes, use half a cup to 1 cup in the morning. Wash them well, chill them, and eat them slowly with breakfast. The skin is where much of the pigment lives, so do not peel them. If Concord grapes are not available, look for frozen dark purple grapes or a small serving of 100% Concord grape juice. Keep juice to 4 ounces, diluted with water, unless your doctor or dietitian tells you otherwise. Grape juice is concentrated, and concentrated fruit sugar can be a problem for people with diabetes or insulin resistance. The best time is morning or early afternoon, not late at night. Use it 3 to 4 times per week, especially on days when your breakfast needs color and fiber. If you are prone to blood sugar spikes, pair grapes with protein, Never eat them alone on an empty stomach. Concord grapes are number 2 because they show us a deeper principle. The aging brain loves dark color from real plants. It does not need candy color, artificial flavor, or a miracle capsule. It needs plant pigments your body can recognize and use. And now, here it is. The number 1 fruit I want every adult over 60 to seriously consider eating every morning because the evidence is stronger, the mechanism is more complete, and the daily habit is simple enough to actually keep. Blueberries are number 1. If foggy memory, slower word recall, or morning mental heaviness has started to bother you after 60, blueberries are the fruit I would place at the top of the list. They are small, but they carry one of the most studied patterns in brain nutrition. Their deep blue color comes largely from anthocyanins, and those anthocyanins are linked to vascular support, antioxidant activity, inflammation balance, neuronal signaling, and memory-related performance. A 2010 study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry investigated wild blueberry juice in older adults with early memory changes. The sample was small, with 9 older adults in the blueberry group, but after 12 weeks, the researchers reported improvements in paired associate learning and word list recall. That matters because the participants were not simply young, healthy adults trying to feel sharper for an exam. They were older adults already noticing memory change. The study was preliminary, but it became one of the key human trials that pushed blueberries into the serious brain health conversation. Then came more research. A randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial in older adults at risk for dementia found that blueberry supplementation improved semantic access and visual spatial memory, with semantic access showing a statistically significant result and visual spatial memory also improving. In plain language, that means blueberries were linked with improvements in word access and spatial memory, 2 areas that many older adults notice in daily life. Now listen to this carefully. Semantic access is the ability to reach the word or meaning you already know. When you say that the name is right on the tip of your tongue, that is the kind of system we are talking about. Blueberries are not putting brand new memories into your brain. They may help the brain access, protect, and use the networks already there. That is why the result feels so relevant to real life. The most impressive recent evidence comes from a 2023 double-blind, randomized controlled trial published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Researchers studied 61 healthy older adults aged 65 to 80. Participants received 26 grams of freeze-dried wild blueberry powder daily, providing about 302 milligrams of anthocyanins, equivalent to about 178 grams of fresh wild blueberries for 12 weeks. The wild blueberry group showed better flow-mediated dilation, which is a measure of blood vessel function, and a reduction in 24-hour ambulatory systolic blood pressure by about 3.59 millimeters of mercury compared with placebo. They also showed enhanced immediate recall and better accuracy on a task switching test. This is the mechanism that makes blueberries so powerful. They do not only act like antioxidants, they appear to influence blood vessels and brain performance at the same time. Think of blueberries as a delivery system that supports the roads, the electrical signals, and the cleanup crews inside your brain. Your brain needs oxygen. It needs steady glucose. It needs flexible blood vessels. It needs low inflammatory noise. It needs neurons that can communicate. Blueberries touch several of these systems at once, and that is why they outrank the other fruits. A 2022 Scientific Reports systematic review examined clinical trials of berry-based foods and supplements in older adults with normal cognition or mild cognitive impairment. The review concluded that berry-based interventions showed beneficial effects across areas including cognitive function, memory performance, executive functioning, processing speed, attention, and brain perfusion or activity, while also noting that trial quality and designs were mixed. That balanced sentence is important. The evidence is not saying blueberries cure dementia. It is saying that berry-based foods, especially blueberries, have repeated human evidence suggesting support for memory and cognition. That is enough to make them a serious morning habit. There is also a long-term population clue. A 2012 Annals of Neurology study using data from the Nurses' Health Study followed older women and found that higher intake of berries and flavonoids was associated with slower rates of cognitive decline. The researchers estimated that greater berry intake was associated with cognitive aging delayed by up to about 2.5 years. Here is the plain truth. If your memory feels foggy after 60, your brain may not need another extreme routine. It may need one consistent, colorful, blood vessel supporting fruit every morning. Now, here is exactly how to use blueberries. Choose wild blueberries if you can, because they usually have intense color and a high anthocyanin concentration. Frozen wild blueberries are often easier to find and may be just as practical as fresh. Use 3/4 cup to 1 cup every morning. If that feels like too much, start with 1/2 cup for the first week. The goal is not to shock your body. The goal is to build a routine your body can trust. Do not eat them in a sugary muffin and pretend it is the same thing. Do not rely on blueberry-flavored cereal, blueberry pastries, or sweetened blueberry drinks. Those are desserts wearing a health costume. Use real blueberries. Add them to plain Greek yogurt, steel-cut oats, cottage cheese, chia pudding, or a smoothie with protein. If you make a smoothie, keep it simple. Use 1 cup frozen blueberries, 1 cup unsweetened milk or kefir, 1 tablespoon ground flaxseed, and protein from yogurt or a plain protein source your doctor approves. Here is my favorite version for older adults. Take 3/4 cup of frozen wild blueberries and let them sit for 5 minutes. Add 1/2 cup of plain Greek yogurt, 1 tablespoon of chopped walnuts, and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Stir slowly until the juice begins to color the yogurt deep purple. That purple color is the point. It is your visual reminder that you are feeding your brain plant compounds your body recognizes. The best time is breakfast because you are breaking an overnight fast and setting your blood sugar, inflammation signals, and mental energy pattern for the day. If mornings are rushed, prepare the bowl the night before and keep it covered in the refrigerator. Aim for 5 to 7 mornings per week. If you have diabetes, use the smaller serving and pair it with protein and fat. If you have kidney disease, swallowing problems, allergies, or a medically restricted diet, ask your healthcare professional how to fit berries safely into your plan. But for the everyday fog many people describe after 60, the kind where the mind feels slower, names take longer, and mornings feel dull, blueberries are one of the simplest evidence-supported foods to bring into your daily routine. Blueberries are number 1 because they combine the strongest brain-specific research on this list with the easiest habit. No complicated recipe, no expensive protocol, no heroic discipline. just real blue fruit, eaten consistently, paired wisely, and repeated long enough for your body to receive the message. So, there you have it, 5 fruits that support memory and brain aging through different pathways. Orange brings citrus flavonoids and vitamin C. Strawberries support recognition and spatial learning through berry polyphenols. Pomegranate offers deep red compounds that may help visual memory stability and oxidative protection. Concord grapes bring dark purple polyphenols linked with verbal learning and neurocognitive support. And blueberries stand at number 1 because their anthocyanins, vascular effects, and memory research make them the morning fruit every adult over 60 should take seriously. You do not have to throw away every supplement tomorrow. You do not have to feel guilty about what you did not know. The information you had was incomplete, not useless. But now you have a better strategy. Start with blueberries tomorrow morning. Use half a cup if you are cautious, or 1 full cup if it fits your body and your diet. Pair them with protein. Keep them real. Keep them unsweetened. Keep the habit steady. Your brain has the ability to respond at any age, not perfectly, not overnight, and not like a machine, but like living tissue that still listens when you give it better signals. This is not about chasing youth. It is about protecting clarity, independence, confidence, and the quiet dignity of remembering your own life with more ease. Here at Senior Health Advice, I am Dr. Natalie Brooks, and I want you to remember this simple truth. Aging may change the brain, but daily choices still speak to it. Sometimes the first message is as small as a spoonful of blueberries in the morning. If you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss another video like this one. Thank you for watching.